Let's head right to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I think the smartest choice to replace Jim Schwartz is to get Corey Underlin from the Texans. The only reason why I say this, I think this would be the best situation because you have the players who want to do what Corey wants to do, which basically what Jim wanted to do. So I think that's your best option. Now, if he somehow drops out or Texans try to give him a contract raise, I think Banda is a next person of interest that we need to look into.
And along those lines, Browns have requested an interview with Texans pass game coordinator Corey Undlin as the defensive coordinator interviewed Falcons defensive pass game coordinator Mike Ruttenberg for the job yesterday, that according to Mary Kay Kettle. Let's welcome in Spencer German from 92.3 The Fan and the Locked On Browns podcast. Spencer, two things. Undlin, what are your thoughts? And how much do you think the absence of Jim Schwartz hurts the Browns' defense next season?
Yeah, I definitely think Undlin is somebody that I even identified, once we knew Jim was kind of out of the picture as someone that could potentially replace him. He has the history with Jim Schwartz, so knows the defense and the style that the Browns want to play. Also has the history with Todd Monken, which is almost always the perfect storm, right? We know so many of these things are about relationships that you've kind of formed along the way. And, having that familiarity with what they want to do defensively with Todd keeping the scheme the same is I think, a valuable thing. So I think that certainly feels like it's probably the betting favorite, I would say, is Undlin at this point. But I'm not opposed to, either the internal options, either Jason Tarver, Ephraim Banda. I think both those guys, Tarver's done it before. Banda hasn't done it at this level, but it seems like he's has gained some traction in recent years as somebody who is kind of in line to be a defensive coordinator at some point. So, the familiarity with everything, I think, is what Tom Monken's probably going to sort of go for and prioritize here. So we'll see what that looks like. But, yeah, I think any of those guys feel like pretty solid options. And in terms of, like, what Jim Schwartz's absence means, and I've been trying to warn people against this because I don't think it's so as simple as just you lose the coach, but the players remain, and so how bad can it really be? Like they don't. There's a lot of people kind of writing off the idea that you don't need Jim Schwartz as long as you got Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and Carson Schlesinger. And while I do think the players matter more than anything when it comes to football, other sports, whatever, players over plays, I know was something that Lance always brings up. Lance Reisland. I also still understand the concept of, how different coaching styles and techniques and personalities and attitudes impact the locker room and impact group. I think the perfect example of that is when Bill Callahan was here and Bill Callahan goes to Tennessee and the offensive line took a massive step back and it hasn't been the same since. And so it's not that I don't think that the Browns can, still be a really good defense with the players that they have. I just think it's going to be different, and you don't always, see the impact of a guy when he's working with players behind the scenes and out on the field and how they coach certain players and the attitude that they take to the job and the personality that they take to the job and how those things can sometimes impact bigger picture things like what happens on the field on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you. The fit, the coordinator's job is to make all that fit together. And if you have a different coordinator, the fit of everybody together is going to be a little different. It just is.